Alright, hey, what's up everybody? This is Chad here. This is Thursday Night Magic, and the format is Scars Block Constructed, and I've been wanting to try a mono black control deck. I don't know if this is actually the way the format's going to go, or that's going to be an archetype that's good, but let's go ahead and look at the deck, and I'll talk about it for a few minutes, and then we have um, about 10-12 minutes before it starts. So. Alright, so here's the deck, and I just so you know, I threw this deck together today, so there's some cards kind of missing, and just, I don't know. So we're just gonna try it and see, because it's Friday Night Magic, sorry, Thursday Night Magic, and it's only 2 tickets, and it's Swiss, so I'll be able to play 3 rounds and just kind of test the deck a little bit. So I'll just explain my thoughts, and again, this is I guess for myself and for those watching to kind of learn and see how this works and maybe how we can improve. So your comments would be highly welcome on this video. So anyway, let's get this out of the way. So the deck, obviously, Despise I want to play. I just want to try. One of the main reasons it's in there is because the Koth deck, that is a pretty brutal deck. Only 3 in the main deck, because I'm hopefully not going to play Koth every time. There's a few Venser decks and a few Tezzeret decks, so it's all going to be pretty good. I mean, because it also discards a creature too. Another card this deals very well with is Thrun. So if they have a Thrun deck, then this really helps too. I'll get to the Virulent Wound here in a minute. Obviously, if it's mono black, Grasp of Darkness is really good, because you're always going to be able to cast it on turn 2 no matter what, as long as you have 2 mana. And let's see, I'm trying to kind of look at how we're going to do it here. Grim Affliction I want to try, and I'll explain why that's in there. Phyrexian Crusader is a good card, just a first strike infector. This is not an infect deck, but it can definitely go the distance. There's a 4th one in the sideboard. Skinrender, obviously, a lot of people would probably play 4 Skinrenders here, but again, there's one in the sideboard, and I'm just testing this out. A little heavy on the 6 drops, but I want to kind of see how it rolls. 2 Wormcoil Engines. I'm thinking maybe 1 Wormcoil Engine would be enough, but whatever. I like Carnifex Demon, again, because we kind of have a proliferate theme. This putting in main deck, and could take it out if I'm playing against something that it doesn't really benefit. Like if I'm not playing against White Weenie or something like that. These are pretty obvious plays, are good. They also help deal with Thrun. So does Geth's Verdict. That's why Geth's Verdict's in here. I got 1 main deck and 2 in the sideboard in case one of my 4 Despises doesn't hit Thrun. It can get rid of hopefully get rid of it that way. Also, Black Sun Zenith deals with Thrun. Okay, so Virulent Wound doesn't seem like a very good card, but it's something I want to try because I'm trying to get counters on creatures. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different proliferate things going on here, with 2 Contagion Clasps, the Grim Affliction, and the Tezzeret's Gambit. And that's why there's 2 Silver Mirror in here, just in case maybe, late game I can play these without having to pay the life. But again, this is mono black. And putting these in here I don't think really hurt me. They help me ramp, and it's not going to hurt as it's all swamps. 21 lands, it might be a little low. But that's one thing I like about monocolored decks, is they you can kind of go a little light on the land. Sometimes you will get mana screwed a little bit, but more times than not it's beneficial to have less land, so you can just draw more gas. I really like these. When I first looked at Lashwraith, I thought it was just an equipment. I didn't realize it was living weapons. So that makes it pretty sick, as in this deck it's always going to be a 4/4 on turn 4, and it'll just continue to grow. It's a little fragile. It's an artifact, and the Germ Token dies to things like Go for the Throat, and Grasp of Darkness and all that stuff. But we're going to try it out. A few things that aren't in it. Well, let me go to sideboard real quick. Enslave, if I get into like a control deck, get against a control deck like a Consecrated Sphinx type deck, these are going to go in, and the Grasp of Darkness will probably come out for some Go for the Throats. Life's Finale, again, maybe I might sideboard that in against against Tempered Steel or something to that effect. Memoricide, pretty obvious what that does. I don't have any main deck just because a lot of people run 1 main deck, but I just couldn't find one to fit. Um, but anyway, so yeah, we've got counters that we put on here, counters that go on with this guy, counters that we put on with this guy, counters we put on with this guy, and this thing has charge counters. So all the proliferate stuff is really good, and hopefully it'll just kind of help. The main purpose is kind of early, get rid of their early drops, maybe get a few counters on some things, and then skin render them out, proliferate them out, and draw into some bigger stuff or some more proliferate options, and just kind of win late game with Massacre Worm, Worm Coil Engine, and maybe Carnifex Demon, and maybe a giant Lash Wraith. I have won some games drawing a late Lash Wraith, tapping creatures with Tumble Magnet, putting the Lash Wraith on the Crusader, and swinging for 10 infect. That's another way the deck wins. Surgical Extraction, I'm still not sure how this card plays, so I got a couple in the sideboard just to throw in. Maybe if again I'm playing against a deck with like some uncounterable creatures like Thrun or something like that, or maybe like a Glinthawk Idol that I Grasp of Darkness or something, and then I can get rid of it. Like I said, I just threw this deck together today. So what's not in the deck, there's a few things that aren't in the deck that might seem like obvious includes, and I probably agree, but I think I can make an argument at least for one of them. One of them that's not in the deck is Dismember, and I thought about it because it basically costs 3 and it does 1 more than Grasp of Darkness. Now I know I can play it on turn 1 and pay 4 life, but in a mono black deck I didn't think it really benefited that much playing it on turn 1, where you can just wait another turn and do -4, -4. The things that I would want to target in Scar's block anyway would be things like the lands that Koth makes, the 4/4 lands, Kadoltha Phoenix, some other things I can't remember. Hero Blade Hold, things like that, and they're all 4 toughness. So, and then you think of things like Consecrated Sphinx and Massacre Worm and Worm Coil Engine. Giving them -5, -5 till end of turn doesn't really do anything either. So they're kind of like tweeners. So my thought was that for Consecrated Sphinx and anything aside from an artifact that was bigger than a 5/5, Go for the Throat was a good option. So you definitely could put Dismember in here, but again, I'm trying to make this deck a little bit on the cheap. I know these aren't the cheapest cards, but I just wanted to kind of see with what I had and not having to spend a ton of tickets to get some of those. The other thing that I would probably put in this deck, maybe take out the Lash Wraiths and put in their place, is Phyrexian Obliterator. But again, that's around 8 to 9 tickets, and I didn't want to spend 20 tickets or so on 2 or 3 cards for testing. So that's something else. So I'm aware that there are some other cards that could go in this deck. But again, it's it's Thursday Night Magic. It's only 2 tickets, and it's going to be a good place to test, because you'll see some pretty serious decks, maybe some more loose decks than you would in a more expensive tournament, but still this will get a good idea. So I may go 0-3, but this will give us a good idea of what a deck like this can look like, and how it can be improved on. So again, your comments are welcome, and I hope that you would let me know what you think, and what maybe we should cut and put in, and I'll take the advice and I'll try to continue to build the deck and load more videos as the deck evolves, and then maybe we can see it move into standard once the Zendikar block phases out, and just we can kind of see what it looks like with the new M12 and the new set coming in. So anyway, I will see you in round 1.